And welcome back into Open Line. Chuck Long here with you for the next about 45, 50 minutes. We're glad that you're calling in on Open Line. This is, if you are just tuning in, Ask an Attorney. We're talking with one of our very favorites here, Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. The number right there on your screen, 737-7587. Kevin, we've got a lot of people calling in, a lot of questions, absolutely. And as we always say, when you call in for a question, you may be thinking it's just for you, but so many people benefit from those questions because they're thinking, I was thinking that exact same thing. Yes. Let's go right back to the lines right now, though. Charles is on the line with us. Charles, good evening. We're glad that you're watching Open Line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, good evening. How are you doing?
Great,
Mr.
Charles.
Kennedy?
Thank you for calling.
I've got a question here. One is that during this pandemic and everything, is it a good idea to have a will ready for your loved ones in case something happens? Because you never know what's going to happen during this pandemic. And
yes.
Two, who do I have to get a relative, or can I get someone that I know that is out of the family that has been a good friend of mine to be that beneficiary and everything, be the executor of my estate and everything?
Okay, great question. I had a multi-millionaire's wife went in the hospital, and he's a friend of mine, and I said, well, did you get a medical power of attorney, because we can be shut down? And Chuck's mother could go in, or your brother could go in, and he didn't have it. Well, it's hard for the lawyers to even get in and exit. So thank you, Charles, for the question. Everybody right now, try to get it done. Try to get a medical power of attorney, try to get a durable power of attorney if that's appropriate with a loved one, because if they're in, there's no way that we're going to be able to get a lawyer in to do it. And you say, well, we waited too long. It's a call for everyone. Don't wait any longer. On a will, when I try to see a lawyer, get it done, keep your papers straight. We are seeing lots and lots of people say, Kevin, I wish we had done that. So thank you so much, Charles, for saying that. And I've never in my entire legal career seen it when you say, okay, we've got the money, I've got the team, but the hospitals will not let us get in. And we've even had some roll them out to the parking lot, and I bring my team and we execute right there, get it done. And will it give your family some peace? Absolutely. But hey, John F. Kennedy said when you got to fix the roof, do it while the sun's shining. What that means is don't wait till the rain. Don't wait till they're in the emergency room. And some of the latest things that you may not know, but many people are going and are not being able to get into any hospital. You say, for real? And that was mine. For real, what are we going to do? So we are really in a pandemic state, so we have to do things we've never done before to protect the loved ones like never. Thank you so much, Charles, and that's my advice.
And then even following up on that, and I know sometimes people think, well, they've heard, the grapevine, social media, you can just scribble a little will together.
Well, and worst comes to worst, that's a holographic will. You can sit down and write out and sign it. That's legal. It could be attacked. But the problem is the power of attorney. The problem is a medical power of attorney. Well, I'd like for Chuck to make the decision, do we take me off the ventilator or not? That's everybody. Half the family says, no, don't pull them off of that ventilator. Other half says, hey, they're gone. We've got to pull. Well, do you want that kind of fight in your family? I don't. So the way we avoid all that is to get this stuff done now.
Absolutely. And so this is another thing. It's always good to see the attorney about that. All right, let's go right back to our lines right now. Rich is on the line with us. Rich, we're glad that you are watching Open Line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Hello, good evening. Hello, Kevin.
Good evening.
I like your jewelry. I'm trying to get on your level. But anyways, this is about possible divorce. I've been separated from my estranged wife for about 10 years now. When we first got separated, I was incarcerated for about 19 months. Within that incarceration, she had a living boyfriend that she lived with for about 4 years. Me and her never got together, but I think it's time for a divorce. But I've been kind of avoiding bringing it up because of alimony. I'm already paying child support on our last child that we had together. We have 5 kids total. But my youngest daughter, she's 15 and a half. And I really don't want to get that double whammy.
Yeah. Well, you're pretty skilled in your analysis, and a lot of people would ask, good gracious, man, after 10 years, you should have. So there's an old saying among lawyers, let sleeping dogs lie. And what that really means is, okay, we're rocking along. I don't have an alimony order against me right now. Well, she's 15 and a half. I've got 2.5 years. We're away from that. The odds are probably that you wouldn't get hit with alimony, but never say never. So things, we see cases all the times where it shocks the lawyers, and it came out of left field. Do you want that to happen in your life? So what I would do is come in and talk to a lawyer privately. Let's talk about what the odds are and what the risks are, and we know all the formulas. You know, the odds are great. We're going to make a good assessment, but even the greatest lawyer doesn't know how to deal with a crazy person because they don't even know how to deal with themselves. So there's a lot of factors that a private lawyer can talk to you about, each side, who can afford to fight and what do you think their agenda is. But you did an excellent job on identifying that issue. Thank you so much for the phone call.
Absolutely. We appreciate that, Rich. Kevin, you know another thing, too, about just being prepared and kind of knowing what your rights are and that sort of thing. I think one of the areas, and we often get a lot of calls about this, and of course feel free to call about any of these legal questions that you might have. Numbers on your screen right there. But a lot of times it can be something as minor as a traffic stop.
Yes.
Or a traffic accident. And you're wondering, one, can you pull out your phone and start taping the people that you had the accident with? Can you pull out that phone, start taping the officer who comes and talks to you?
Yes.
What are what are your rights there?
I'll tell you right off the bat, you do have the right to do it. And if things don't really feel good, you're probably better to go ahead and record than not record. I don't like to be confrontational. A lot of times we can settle things, but if you know the agenda is not right, it's not a bad idea. This is where it's one-sided in the judicial system. What do you mean one-sided? I mean, when that officer comes, they've got the microphone, they've got the videotape, walk in front of the car. Do you know why they say walk in front? Because the cameras are on you in front of the car. And then you know what? You could be out there by yourself, and then they call for backup, and then there's 2 witnesses, 3 witnesses. What does that matter? It's the scales of justice, my friend. If there's 3 saying this and 1 saying this, okay, who tipped the scales? We can attack their credibility, and that's why you need a skilled lawyer. So anything can happen. We are in the middle of COVID. Anger is really aggressive. Police officers, they're having to be on a heightened status all the time. You go to the courts, they're packed, everybody's worried about COVID, and we've got too many on the docket. So what are we going to do? You look after your family the best, use your best judgment. I say walk away rather than be confrontational, because if you do, there's going to be a miscalculation, and it could be for a lifetime.
All right, good to know. All right, let's go back to our lines right now. Joy is on the line with us. Joy, do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, sir. I just, I've always been this person that asks why to everybody, lawyers, doctors. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. That's good.
Yes, I'm a person who always wants to ask questions, and this is not a real case about anybody, but I just have a question about this because I wonder why.
Okay.
This is a question about abortion. I know that Roe versus Wade is the law, so women have the legal right to abortion. But then why is the father charged with murder if he does something to hurt the mom and the baby dies? I understand charges on hurting the mom, but if a mom can take the life of the baby, why is the father charged with murder? Do we all have equal rights? Is that fair?
You are really good. That is a wonderful analysis. And guess what? That's been debated in the legislature and at the Supreme Court, in the courtrooms. And I salute you for your analysis because you make a lot of sense. Do we have a double standard? And of course, Roe versus Wade, we do anticipate will be in front of the Supreme Court, and it'll rock this nation. But who is the defenseless? The law is supposed to protect the poor and the helpless. That is a really good point, and thank you. And we're always asking ourselves, see, inside every man and every woman, there's a natural instinct in us. That's not right. That's not fair. Somebody should stand up and say that. And so I'm always a cheerleader for those who will not stand for injustice. I'm on the soapbox, but this is our life, this is our world, this is America. And if someone doesn't speak up, one of the old sayings I love, strong people stand up for themselves, but stronger stand up for others. And I've spent my life dancing that, and I hope I'll be able to do that until we meet Jesus. But thank you for your comments.
All right, thanks so much, Joy. Appreciate you watching this evening. We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, more of your questions here on Open Line, so come on back with us.